This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hey everybody, Cheryl from Unleashed. Welcome. I'm glad you're with us today. We have a very special guest. My buddy from Cattitude, Michelle, is going to be here. And today we're going to talk about signs of your cat aging, since not everybody knows how old their cats might really be. We'll be right back.
Looking for a dental treat that does more for your dog? Daily Dose is a 2-in-1 chew that pairs a daily dental scrub with powerful supplements to help with the biggest health concerns facing our dogs. Daily Dose was developed by vets to be simple to use and super effective. Plus, dogs love the taste. Available for joint, skin, heart health, or calming. Daily Dose. Your pet's daily dose of awesome. Visit yourpetsdailydose.com to save $3 on your first bag with promo code PETLIFE. That's yourpetsdailydose.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody.
So, hey, Cheryl, I know that between us, I think we have a zoo of cats. We have like 8 altogether. And, you know, one of the things about cats is sometimes you don't know when they come to you how old they are. And it's a guessing game. Like Dennis, he walked in the door. I don't know how old he is. I'm guessing, you know, he's around 10 or 11. What was the story with your cats?
Well, thank you for having me on your show. It's always fun. Well, I have 2 elderly cats. My Cheyenne, I got her as a kitten in 2004, so we know how old she is, 16. And Daniel, they told me he was 7 when I got him. So I think he's about 16, 17. They're elderly. I've had cats 17, 18, 19, and 21 years old. But I have to say, I've never seen the signs of aging like I have now with these 2. I mean, Cheyenne, they're affectionate, they eat, they drink, but Daniel is definitely showing signs of dementia, and so is Cheyenne, definitely.
You know, the thing with cats, and in having done so many Cattitude shows, I've learned from so many different experts, the thing with cats is they hide things. It's not like dogs where you could just see it, you know, see the signs and dogs kind of tell you, you know, this aches, this isn't going right. They're more vocal and you can just see what's going on with them more. Cats are more secretive. And, you know, that's for any time from what I've learned. It's whether they're young and have an issue or, you know, middle-aged or older, what have you. But I think when they're older, they kind of hide the signs of aging also, as well as, you know, how they hide the signs when they're getting ill. I think they kind of hide the signs of aging. It's hard for us to know that they're getting older.
You know, he's lost some weight, which is a sign when they get older. He was a robust Maine Coon, and he's deaf. And I did some research. Dementia one of the signs is deafness. Although, you know, I guess he hears my foot, you know, steps, and I could talk loud, which I normally do. And they stare at the wall, which is another sign. But I really think, in all honesty, one of the things that they did say is any kind of profound change in their life. And I had major construction here, and we moved to a hotel for 3 months. So furniture went out, which freaked them out totally because, you know, animals.
They don't like change, and dogs don't like change, but cats really, really do not like change.
Cats like their own environment. That's why when people go away, the cats stay home and people come and take care of them. Dogs either could go out, go to somebody's, or they go to a pet hotel. But I noticed this right around that time, and now things are getting a little even more strange. You know, constipation, drinking water. They eat, they're affectionate. You would never know, but it's the beginning. So I'm definitely, and waking me up at all hours of the night because their clock is off. It's very much like Alzheimer's in humans.
But wait, Cheryl, let me ask you a question. So everything with Daniel was pretty okay until you had the changes in your household where you had to leave the house for your
3
for the
months.
home repair, but things
Right.
were okay up till then? Or do you think that kind of, he was getting old, but that just triggered it and amplified it?
I think it amplified it. I moved less than a year ago, and then my change happened here. He saw all of his stuff leaving the house, and then we were in a hotel. I mean, it was a very nice hotel, but he didn't really care. So there, and he's old, and I don't really know how old he really was when I got him. They said 7. He could have been 8. He could have been 9. I mean, he's affectionate, so he doesn't have all of the symptoms, but he has enough for me to have a wake-up call. And I'm going to be taking him to the vet just to satisfy myself. But, even if this didn't happen, I'm entering a new phase with them for sure.
That's for sure. And, I think it's right on when you're saying about the change of moving out of your home for 3 months, because I'm going to tell you a little story about Dennis. And it does have to do with Daniel in a sense, but Dennis is part Maine Coon, and that long hair, if you're not diligent with brushing all the time, and even if you are, they can get matted. So Dennis every so often has to get a shave. Whenever he gets a shave, Charlotte and Molly are like evil enemies to him. So this time, wait though. When this time, my significant other, he said, well, don't have them shave too much. I said, well, I don't know if that could be the story. I go, but I will tell them, do not use any kind of perfume or any kind of scented shampoo, no scent at all, because I figured scent would be the trigger. Cats, their sight, it wouldn't be so much that he looked different. It would be the scent.
No, definitely the smell.
Well,
yeah.
I don't think it's so much how he looks. I think cats are more triggered by smell. Anyway, even with no scent on him at all, it still took over, I think, almost like 2.5 months before they stopped hissing at him, because he still has the short hair. He still doesn't look like how he used to.
That's a long time.
It took a long time for his smell to become like him, because he was just clean. He didn't smell like Dennis to Charlotte and Molly. He smelled like, a clean cat. And it took a while for him to smell like he smells. And so if that just something that subtle caused, so much, animosity among the cats. They didn't attack him, but they were just nasty to him for a while.
The same thing with Cheyenne. Whenever I did, because he's Maine Coon and I brush him all the time, and we got rid of the matting situation. Plus, I'm very good with a scissor. I'll tell you that. I could get
but my point is, if this kind of a thing, if this small kind of thing, just making him clean could trigger such, it upset like the threesome, the indoor threesome of cats. So I can just imagine having to physically move Cheyenne out of his environment or Daniel out of his environment, and it was entirely different for 3 months. That is just a huge change. I'm just comparing the changes, how just a small change with one can upset.
When I take Daniel to get groomed, I did once by himself because he's got the long hair and, no big deal. But when he came back, 2 days she hissed at him, and then he smelled like us again. But I have to tell you, when I went to the hotel, Cheyenne took up the habit. She wants to take a shower with me. How do you like that?
What?
She meows for me to go in the shower. She meows for me to come out. And then once I'm out, she jumps in. And I didn't understand it, but she's doing it here also.
So all of a sudden she wants to be clean?
Different habits for sure. And in reading about this, could be renal failure, even though, we say, oh, they're drinking. But that could be a sign. Blood pressure, their adrenal glands. That's why if anybody has a pet out there that suddenly is a change, or you just realizing it now, you should take them to the vet. They say vitamin E and antioxidants are very good help. But once it's to the point, they're elderly. There's no turning it back. It's just maintaining.
Exactly. My cats are still young-ish. I think Dennis is the oldest, and he's, 11. But I'm going through this with my dog Zeus, Mr. Z. He's 2 months over 15, so 15 years, 2 months. And, I'm seeing he's eating less. He weighs less than he ever did. I've gone to the vet with any kind of subtle changes and had him checked out. He's on medication. His stomach is a little more sensitive than normal. So I'm keeping that in mind and just trying to keep him happy,
That was my first clue with Daniel. I changed foods because he would throw up. That's one of the symptoms also about this cognitive thing that happens to them. So I checked off 3 of the looking at the wall, the change in eating, the meowing. Daniel never meowed. And if I walk into the kitchen anytime they want to eat, they got food there. It's just their clock is off. That's what I think it is. But the weird thing is, here we are in 2020. I never had any of my other animals who lived to old age have any of these symptoms. That's what I'm saying. Things are changing. There's more illnesses for animals like there are for people.
I think it's because animals they become our kids, and there's better research for animals. There's better care for animals. There's better treatment, and there's better education for the pet parent that's out there, especially with social media and just the internet in general. There's just a lot of great, Pet Life Radio that we have, 9 or 10 vet shows. There's so much great information out there. So what maybe in the past we saw, he's just getting old. Now we look at our fur babe and say, okay, and I'm saying he because the one I have now is a dog that's old, but, okay, well, he has arthritis in his back legs. Before we would just say, he's getting old. Now we know we can be more specific about it. Or I was just at the vet actually yesterday with Mr. Z, and we thought he's deaf. But the vet whistled very sharply and he cocked his head one way. So he said, I guess he can hear out of one ear. I go, well, it can't hear direction of sound then, but at least he could hear something, So
well, I was using a whistle for Daniel. I mean, if I clap my hands really loud, he stays by the door. This is a new thing. He likes to now lay on the little rug by my door when I come in and out. He doesn't move at all when I leave and when I come back. So I literally have to step over him. But you know what I find amazing, though? What's very peculiar is how subtle the changes are and how we respond to them. Because only, the owner of the pet would really realize it. Although I've had people come in who've seen Daniel, who haven't seen him for a while, and can see he looks like an old man now. He's just not that brightness that he had before, which is fine. I still love him, when you're 64. But it's just amazing how we, the owners, recognize it, the little subtleties of our pets. That's what's unusual. But, even with dogs, I've had dogs 19 years old, 17 years old, 15 years old. That's a pretty old age. I think they changed that it's not 7 years for every year anymore.
No, it's not. It's not. 15, what it is, I think the first couple of years, and I think it's for cats too. Like by the time they're 3, they're not really, or 4, they're not really like, what would it be, 28? They're more like, 30 something. And then as they get older, the age doesn't accelerate as fast. So if he's 15, I think that's equivalent to maybe 80 something, 90 something in people years. So, you expect to slow down around that age. He's, not who he was, but
he'll still run a little.
Well, he doesn't really run too much, but he walks. He can walk on his own. He gets stuck sometimes and can't get out. Like if he sleeps next to me on the floor, so on his own little bed. So he was getting stuck, like sliding under the bed and getting stuck. So I had to put a pillow there so he wouldn't get stuck. And he stopped barking. You know how you said Daniel started meowing? Zeus stopped barking. The one time he barked is when he was stuck. So it was a shocker because he hadn't barked in months, And I have a yapper. Yeah. Mr. Nicky yaps all the time. So I guess because Mr. Nicky's so vocal, I didn't even notice that Mr. Zeus stopped barking,
Well, see, because he's deaf, he doesn't realize that he never meowed before. Not only is he meowing, he's moving his mouth open and shut because he can't hear. He thinks he is talking. I'm starting to wake up and realize it. It's like it hit me over the head. Actually, just a day or two ago, I used to joke, my cats have cat dementia, and I really looked it up, and It's really a thing.
It's really a thing.
We'll be right back after this word from our sponsor.
The young lady from the rescue delivered happy. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby. The cause of his issue was poor nutrition. It was neglect.
DINOVITE.com.
We've been using Dinovite, and within a couple weeks, his skin started clearing up. He didn't smell. He had more energy, a glow, and a bounce about him.
You get some Dinovite, how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. And now I'm going to mention some of the signs if you think that your animal has feline dementia or renal distress. And it's very interesting. I mean, it's just like people. You know, when our animals drink, we're going, great, he's drinking. You know, he's not dehydrated. But that's a sign that his body's not holding water. So that's one thing. And it has a lot to do with their blood pressure also and their blood cells. And a lot of this, which is the same with people, dental disease. Because plaque in the mouth in people could be plaque on the heart. So I really just think bringing, your animals to the vet at least twice a year, if there's no major thing, just to get things checked up. I'm going to make an appointment tomorrow for Daniel.
And the other thing, Cheryl, why it's important to bring your pet regularly, and some vets also have certain, I know VCA has Care Club, and
right.
Other vets have other special things to where you can buy a package and you're not charged per visit. There's different, things out there, plus, vet insurance. So there's all kinds of ways to, save you money, especially with an older pet when you might be at the vet a little bit more because, they might try a medication and say, hey, come back in 2 weeks. Let me see how your kitty's doing or your doggie's doing. And just to keep on top of it. But the important thing is, as a pet owner, you have to be on top of it because with cats, like you were telling us, Cheryl, the signs are so subtle. They're so subtle. Cats just are very secretive. They don't want to let you know that something is up.
So they do hide things. I think dogs hide also. But, I mean, if it's an open wound, you could see it. But I know with my dogs, they were getting sick and they try to keep it in. But arthritis, you would see. And wandering, with people, humans with Alzheimer's, they wander. One of the symptoms with cats is they wander around. I have a lot of stuff on my walls. At first I thought, well, they appreciate my art. But going to the corner and looking at a wall, no. Little things that you can't deny anymore. It's like with people, where did I put the car? Where's my keys? You're with somebody or your mate or a mother or a father, and they ask the same questions. The cats don't ask that, although asking me to feed them after they just ate could be a sign. But
that could be a sign for sure.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere. They don't go out. So it is what it is. But I know I'm entering a new phase. What that phase will bring, I'm not going there. Right now, we're all happy. We're going to have dinner later. We'll hang out. But you got to be a responsible owner. You got to know when your animals are telling you something.
Exactly.
So,
and you were right on with taking take your pet to the vet, take your cat to the vet and let the vet check them out, check the vitals. And if there's anything up, whether, eating, drinking, whatever. And another sign, and I did some research on this one, another sign is checking the litter box because, and again, my vet was talking to me just yesterday about my dog, but I think there could be some truth for kitties as well. If your kitty's eliminating a lot, that could be that they're not getting any of the nutrients of what they're eating. So if there's any vast changes, when you're cleaning a litter box, what to expect. You know what the number ones look like, the number twos look like. If there's a lot of change going on there, then it might be time to also, say, okay, there's something up with the bathroom habits. And,
how
time
about
to
going
check
outside of the litter at times, which Daniel has done on occasion.
Outside the litter box is also a sign, too. If they're always in the litter box, and it could be arthritis because they can't get into the litter box anymore. That's a sign, too.
They said that, too, but mine is low. But there's a lot of things. It's thyroid. Cats could have cancer and aimlessly wandering around in the house and confusion. They don't have confusion. I check off maybe three tops 4, but it's enough for me now to recognize it and be proactive and whatever I need to do for him to be comfortable. Cheyenne, it doesn't seem, nothing really phases her, except if I get up to use the restroom in the middle of the night, she thinks that she should eat. And she hits me in the head to try to wake me.
Wait, Daniel or Cheyenne wakes you?
No, Cheyenne. Daniel is a perfect gentleman. He lets her do the dirty work and he just basks in the glory.
So every time you get up in the middle of the night, they think it's snack time?
I can't sleep. She wants affection, but hers is different. His is more profound. I mean, it's subtle that I realize it now, but he's more profound. I think he's older. I got her in 2004, so she's 16 years old. Cute as a button. But, you could look into their eyes. They're older cats. It doesn't matter.
Well, you know what? Their eyes are one of the signs of age, too, because they say that in an aging cat, there will be like a blue and white cloudiness of the eye pupil. So, and that happens, it's to dogs also, but that's one of the signs as well.
But if I open up a can of food from across the street, she would hear it, not Daniel. I should try that. I should see if he could hear that. That would be a good thing. Yes. I'm being sarcastic, of course not. But their main focus in life now is to eat.
Wow.
They want to eat. That's what their joy is. So, you got to monitor that stuff. I always they always have clean water, and I always throw an ice cube in. They love that. I started doing that with Daniel. He seems to really love that. Makes them feel special, and it gives it a little, maybe a little cooler than if it was just there. I have one of those water feeders.
Your little
the
fountain.
more they drink, the more they get. Like a fountain, I guess.
Yeah, we have I have a fountain too. They love the fountain.
Yeah. We don't throw pennies in our fountain.
No pennies.
But I just think for our listeners that you really just have to be aware and alert if something different happens on a regular basis. How about that? That's how I got tuned into Daniel. Things were changing, and the change was starting to become somewhat consistent. Once a week, twice a week, he'd throw up, not hairballs. Maybe he wouldn't go in the litter box, some constipation, not all the time. But now when you put that all together, I think there's something here. So we're going to go to the vet.
For sure. And everything you're saying, I've seen the same types of dementia and loss of hearing, loss of appetite, wandering around with Mr. Z. So maybe in aging, cats and dogs aren't all that different. I don't know.
No, old age is old age.
Right.
I bet if we had a zoo person on, they would tell us the same thing for the animals that they deal with, the vets that work in a zoo.
Probably,
I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. I want to mention one more thing that some people might not think about, but Mr. Z used to spend a lot of time in the shower. Not on, but I don't know why. The tile was cooler there. I don't know why. But all of a sudden, he stopped going in the shower. And I realized...
he doesn't want to.
No, but he got a little
it?
bonier, and there's no padding in the shower. His padded beds are everywhere else but the shower. So that's something, too, for your cats, because if your cats are losing some weight, they're going to need a little more comforting. So they might need a little more, a padded bed or a little padding up in their cat tree.
They have a chair that I allow them to sit on. They don't go on my couch. They don't go on my living room furniture. But I have area rugs here and there. But I do notice, now that you say that, when Daniel goes to sit down, he slides down very slowly. He could have some arthritis, which, what are you going to do about that? Nothing. I must have arthritis. You age. But no, he likes his creature comforts, but he's still affectionate. See, and those are some of the signs too, if they're not and they get aggressive, but he's still affectionate. He still wants to, hold my hand, so to speak. He always has his hand reached out. He wants me to hold it. Or if I'm on it, somewhere, he'll put his paw on my shoulder. He's very affectionate. He wants to sleep with me still. He's there in the morning.
That's a good sign. He sleeps with you and he's there in the morning. He stays with you. So that's good.
I like to make sure.
So I guess in conclusion, the most important thing is be in tune, especially with your older kitties. And, and for those of us that have kitties and dogs, be in tune with your older fur babes and watch for any changes. They might be a little subtle, especially with the kitties, but just watch for the changes. What would you add, Cheryl?
Well, because I have two now, at one time I had 3 cats, and 2 is perfect. And I think that they understand between each other what's happening. Daniel loves to clean Cheyenne. Now, they still clean themselves, so that's a very good sign. And they still want to be in my company. They're not, let's put it this way. The one thing I do know about cats when they're sick, they hide. And they're not hiding.
Well, that's good.
It's just that I think our listeners should be aware that if there is a change once, twice, 3 times, it might not happen in the same week or the same month. You just have to be on the lookout, especially if they're older. When people have younger pets, I think they wouldn't really understand or realize something unless it was some drastic, like, they broke a leg, they got cut, something like that. But cats, when they're older, and especially they're indoors, you got to be aware because, I don't want him to be uncomfortable because that's not going to be good. They're my best friends. Exactly. So I'm going to do whatever I could do. But I'm only taking him. She isn't at a point where there's anything different except that her clock is off. And I could deal with that. Big deal.
It'll get back to normal and there's a time change. That changes them a little bit too.
They suggested changing the light in your living area, but I'm not going to do that. That's absurd. I mean, it is what it is.
And you know what? All of this talking about, how our pets age, specifically cats, it just makes me want to remind everyone, it's just life. You have the cute little kitties, they grow up, and then they get older. And that's why we always say, and I've mentioned this a few times on Cattitude, Cheryl, I'm sure you've mentioned this, that little cute kitty is going to grow up and be a cat, and the cat does age. So when you adopt, it's for life.
Oh, for life.
So you got to keep that in mind too,
That's how I adopted too. I had one and his partner passed away. So I went to get a calico. I never had one before. So I wanted to get a calico. When I went to get a calico, as I'm walking out, it was in one of those adopt trailers. When I was walking out, Cheyenne stuck her paw out. And I said, okay, but you're right. I brought home 2 kittens that grew into cats. And, it's wonderful. And Cheyenne is from that time. Daniel, I don't remember if I have him 8 years or 9 years. I could look at the paperwork. But other than Cheyenne, who I know when I got her, she was a kitten in 2004. And he was supposedly 7 when I got him. Maybe he was 8. Nobody really knows.
Out of my whole zoo of 6 cats, the 3 outdoor, they're kind of community cats, 3 indoor, and of the 2 dogs, I only know because Nicky was a rescue from a family member, so he had papers because he's purebred Havanese and he's crazy. And then I only know the true birth date of Molly because she was born on my doorstep. So Otherwise, I don't know the exact age. Zeus, I'm pretty close because he was from an adoption. He was adopted and they were able to guess him pretty close. But the others, I'm not sure. But you know when they're getting older, they're not the kitty age and cats go fast. They're kitties for only, barely, by the time they're almost a year, they can have litters. So they grow kind of fast. They're in the middle. Well, they're kitties till I think they're about 2 or so, but they're in the semi-mature, mature, and a little bit older phase of life for a long time. That could be on a 20-year-old cat's lifetime. That could be, I think, maybe 15 years of that, So something to keep in mind.
For any of our listeners out there, if you have any tips or if it's happened to you and you want to share anything, you could always contact us at Pet Life Radio. And it would be interesting what other people have gone through because I never thought of cat dementia before. I mean, I said it as a joke because their habits were changing. And then I looked it up, and it's a real life thing.
It's a real thing and real important. Well, Cheryl, it's been great talking to you about this, and I'm sure going to bring a lot of awareness to a lot of pet parents if their cats are older, or what to keep in mind when their cats get older.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope all the information that we had today, could help if you are going through the same thing. If you want to contact me, you could always contact me at Pet Life Radio. I want to thank Mark, my producer. I want to thank Michelle for having us on her show and for being on my show. And remember to live life unleashed. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.